Hello, I'm Chris.
And I'm Eleanor.
And today we are asking what exactly emulsifiers are and if they're harmful to our health. Sometimes things just don't mix on their own, and that's where emulsifiers lend a helping hand, particularly when it comes to food. However, recent chatter about the ultra-processed foods and the additives involved has caused some to question whether emulsifiers might actually be harmful to our health. Emulsifiers are substances that help to bring together other substances that wouldn't normally mix, stopping them from separating. The classic example of such a pair is oil and water, which can be difficult if you're trying to use both in a recipe.
The structure of emulsifiers is what makes them so useful. They have a water-loving end that sticks into the water, whilst the other end is water-hating and instead sticks into the oil. This creates tiny droplets of one substance suspended within the other, in what's known as an emulsion. Those used in food can be found naturally, and you may well have used them when in your own kitchen. In making mayonnaise, for example, egg yolks are used because they contain emulsifying agents. The same goes for whacking a bit of mustard in a tasty homemade vinaigrette. Oil and vinegar aren't friends otherwise.
Emulsifiers are used throughout the food industry and can be sourced from the same natural products we might use at home, or similar synthetic versions. They serve multiple purposes, ranging from improving taste and shelf life to altering consistency, structure, and texture. In ice cream production, for example, emulsifiers are used to get that nice, smooth feel with no ice crystals. While in bread, they can help to make a loaf extra plump and soft. But are emulsifiers safe to eat?
Though there are many organisations and legislative bodies responsible for providing advice and regulating the safety of emulsifiers added to food, that hasn't stopped concerns over whether or not they can cause harm to our health. A number of studies have explored the suggestion that some emulsifiers could promote intestinal inflammation and diseases associated with chronic inflammation, such as colitis, though it also stated they were unlikely to be the main cause. Some scientists have taken issue with drawing any hard and fast conclusions about emulsifiers and health from this initial body of research, though primarily because of the vast majority of it was conducted in animals, so the effects seen in these studies might not necessarily translate to us. That being said, some studies have involved humans, but have they made any difference to scientists' conclusions about the safety of emulsifiers?
A large cohort study, a type of study that follows a group of people over a period of time, has spawned 2 research papers that have piqued interest in this area. In both cases, they show that there's still a long way to go to produce a reliable body of evidence. The first paper followed over 95,000 French adults and their intake of emulsifiers to find out if it increased their risk of cardiovascular disease. The study concluded that intake of 4 specific emulsifiers belonging to 2 groups, including mono and diglycerides of fatty acids, was positively associated with a risk.
A number of scientists, however, have argued that the results should be interpreted with caution, as the study relies on self-reported dietary data and estimates emulsifier intake from this information. They argue that when considering that emulsifiers are found in a wide range of foods, it is impossible to attribute observed effects to these compounds, and not specific dietary patterns. Many foods with unfavourable nutrient profiles contain emulsifiers, and this might also explain some of the results.
It's a similar situation for the second, more recent paper, which used data from over 100,000 of the study participants to conclude that 7 individual emulsifiers could increase the risk of developing type 2 diabetes. Participants' food intake was self-reported, which often makes this kind of data unreliable, and the amount of emulsifier consumed was an estimate. The researchers themselves acknowledged that this study is limited.
It's a theme found throughout the limitation sections and criticisms of such human studies on emulsifiers and health. There still simply isn't enough evidence to make reliable conclusions one way or the other. Thank you for watching IFL Science. Please subscribe for more videos like this.